and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 50 of A Wild Podcast Has Appeared, the official Pokemon podcast of Comicbook.com. That's right, we are 2 weeks away, or I guess 1 week away, from our year celebration, year jubilee.
Yes.
I am one of your hosts, Jim Biscardi, and I am joined by Christian Hoffer and Megan Peters.
Hello.
I
nice
am
to
also
know y'all for
here.
Almost a year.
I am physically present for the show.
Wow.
Quarantine's really getting to you.
It has gotten to me, Megan. It got to me weeks ago. I am just a hollow shell of what I once was.
You know, I honestly got so bored yesterday I started pressure washing my driveways. So
Nice.
Wow.
Pressure washing is so much fun.
I know,
No,
I'm not
that-
complaining. Don't get me wrong. I get to pressure wash the sidewalk this evening.
No.
Super pumped about that.
Yep.
Not that has literally anything to do with Pokemon, but pressure washing would be more fun with Vaporeon.
This is not a home improvement show. This is a
Unfortunately, no.
Unfortunately.
That'll be the spinoff.
Yeah. This is a Pokemon show. We talk about Pokemon stuff. We talk about the games. We talk about the anime. We talk about the Pokemon stuff, merchandise. Christian bought something at the end of last week's episode, and it showed up already. So for those watching the video, you can see Christian has the Lucario gallery figure that we talked about last week.
Impromptu unboxing, Hoffer.
Yeah,
Just get
right.
to it.
And yeah, I mean that's kind of what we do here. Show's broken up into 3 parts. We go over some quick news in the beginning. We take a little bit of a break. Then we do a deep dive into something else. There's usually a tangent or two, and then before we end the show, it is the Pokemon fact of the week that Christian regales us with. And this week's is a good one that people it may be like an oh yeah, but also like oh okay cool.
Yeah, it's another 2-parter because I honestly can't remember if we've done the first part before. That's a problem. We've done so many Pokemon facts.
Sure, we've done 49 of the how many Pokemon are there?
890 something.
Right. But to be fair, we have doubled up in some.
That's true. There have been a lot of double.
Yeah, and now we're just going, we're doing like one family at a time at this point.
Right.
So
but where before it was, during the October months last year, we had a lot of Halloween-y themed ones. And
we went straight.
Anyway, it's everyone's favorite segment of the show, so we got a good show ahead. Don't zip to the end because you'll miss Christian losing his mind over something. So
excuse you.
Let's start with the news. A new Afternoon with Eevee figure is live. Another one?
Yes.
Yes,
it's the Sylveon one we discussed.
Oh,
okay.
I've now bought. It's live. Okay.
Yeah, you can buy it now.
Yeah, I figured that people should know that you can now purchase it because sometimes when we do these, we just say like, oh, this thing is coming out, and then we never mention it again.
That's true.
And then they sell out, which is what happened with the Vaporeon and the Eevee. So if you want to buy that cute Sylveon, buy it now from the Pokemon Center, our friends, which we receive no sort of like financial compensation for, just FYI.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've already.
No, we're legitimate fans of these things because
they're so good.
They are very good looking.
Not like the other Funko figures, which at least one of us is not a fan of.
No.
Yeah, and we also tell you about these figures in particular because when they sell out, they're usually difficult to restock. Usually takes a little bit. Also, the aftermarket, the aftermarket selling for it is honestly ridiculous. It's not worth it, but I understand the need to want it all immediately, especially because like these Eevee figures, they come together to create a diorama, which I've already put space for in my house. So I pre-ordered. Join me in the love for Eevee will take over the world. It's basically what I'm telling to you.
I did not believe you guys when you said that the resale value of these were pretty ridiculous. I'm like, no, like what? Like, are we talking like, instead of them being like $20 or like $30? No, the resale actually is pretty freaking ridiculous.
They're like $80 for some of them.
I know.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. It's not. Yeah. It's not.
Like, what the heck? Like, no wonder these things are only, sell out so quickly, because there's like people like Jim out there.
I am not scalping these, for the record. I don't even have any of them. I think the only one I have, and I still have it over there, I'll grab it. If I wasn't wired, I'd grab it, is the Lucky Day with Pikachu one.
Yeah, you're right. Jim doesn't scalp these. However, Jim's daughter, who's of prime scalping age, according to all the stories we've heard from Jim.
That's right.
Is probably
down to the beach on her wagon.
Yep, selling these suckers on eBay. Just, like...
No. She sells them in person. You get cash just immediate cash. Get it. Yeah, that's how you do it. Come on.
Yeah, it's like, I'm young and adorable. Take pity on me.
Unfortunately, the secondary market, the prime suckers for the source scam, with the nursing homes getting shut down due to Corona.
Boy.
Yep, none of them are allowed outside. Oh, God.
Anyways,
Pokemon Go has a new event
coming from
up.
That.
Pokemon Go has a new event coming up, a new Buddy Up event.
It's ongoing now, and the big thing about this is that you have a chance to get a new regional exclusive Pokemon, which you use for us here in the U.S. It's Volbeat, and in Europe and Asia and Australia it's Illumise. So I mean, it's not like it's a good regional exclusive,
but for those looking to complete their Pokedexes,
exactly, it's a necessary step. I'm surprised how easy they are to find too. Like, I hopped on to Pokemon Go for the first time in probably 2 weeks yesterday, and I threw on an incense just to see how common these were when I was writing up the article, and like I got like 4 of them already. So I was like, oh, okay, well, these are indeed common Pokemon.
Nice.
So I realized now that you said that, it's been like 2 weeks since you booted up Pokemon Go. It's been a hot minute, especially because I moved recently, and where I used to live was like right across the street from like a gym. Like, it was there. It was always a battle for me to like get the red team out, show love for Team Mystic. Now I live kind of in the middle of nowhere, so there is nothing around. Really feeling that need for some Pokemon. I guess I'm finally happy to use incense.
I've had some pretty good luck. I've had some pretty good luck just hunting in my backyard, which has been pretty great. Although, like, right now, I'm trying to catch this Joltik, and it's for whatever reason giving me a really hard time. Is
the little bug Pokemon just proving to be too much for you?
It is proving to be too much for me. I just don't get it, which is really annoying. Anyway, so that's available for you to get now, and that's kind of it on the Pokemon Go front, really. I mean, other than there's. I imagine we'll get some more deals and stuff like that. They've really been ramping up the 1 coin deals.
This week it's like 50 Great Balls, and there's a few like boxes you can get for the Buddy Up event. So that's nice. There will be more stuff. The remote passes should be coming here like any time now. So we'll hopefully that comes out here in the next week or so, because another valuable source of recurring Pokemon news is about to go on indefinite hiatus, which really sucks for us.
The Pokemon has been delayed.
I mean, we talked about this in the last episode.
Right. We knew
the writing was on the wall. We just didn't know how quickly it was going to happen. I believe I said it was going to be pretty quick, and lo and behold, I was correct. It took literally a week. So the latest episode of the anime did come out this weekend, and it was followed up by posts saying that due to the current pandemic, the coronavirus situation, Japan has enhanced its social distancing restrictions in Tokyo and other major cities where the recording is done. So not only can the actors not record, but they're also keeping the animators and the production staff at home. Obviously, that's doing some delays. And that means it's on indefinite hiatus. So this isn't the first time the Pokemon anime has been on hiatus. We've had, missing episodes taken off before. It's nothing new. But if this goes on long enough, it could become like a record for the show. So this would be a great time for them to like get the like official English sub or dubbed version out. I know that's not going to happen because we're undergoing the same issues that they are. So
I was supposed to say, it's like, it's even worse over here in the US.
Yeah, especially because the dub, the traditionally the studios where the Pokemon dub is recorded is in New York. So that's not going to happen. But if they would at least just do like an official English subtitle, which I know they're not going to do. I know they're not, Hopper, but let's give a little hope because at least Netflix broke the barrier with their subtitles.
Why? That's like, like one day the sun will wake up and it'll be a bright red or something like that. Something stupid. I guess the sun occasionally is red. Like pollution. But like, I don't know. Like the sky will be green one day. That's what I'm saying. Like, something absolutely ridiculous that will never happen. Like it's like, I don't know, like some like it'll never happen. It'll never happen. That's all I have to say.
We said that about the movies, but then lo and behold, Netflix did it, Hopper. I'm just trying to bring some hope to people in a time of quarantine, and you're really harshing my vibe. So
I mean, you know what we should be giving hope for? That Netflix will like move up the release of the Pokemon thing, so we don't have the upcoming Pokemon Journeys the anime, which by the way is the official title.
It's a stupid name.
It's better than Pokemon, Pokemon the series, which is, some people
the title could be a lot worse.
It could be, and I understand the journeys part because literally Ash and Go in this anime are going on journeys with the regions. And once it starts getting heavily into the World Championship, it's like Pokemon bit, they'll have like a new subtitle and it'll clarify some things.
Pokemon Master Journeys, the series, or something like that.
Something like that. Like it's not the worst title I've ever heard. But
that would be Pokemon Best Wishes.
Yes, my favorite thing though is the conversation within the Annie-Poke community for the animation Pokemon community is that they're like, we refuse to abbreviate this correctly because if you abbreviate it, it just becomes Pokemon Journeys PJs, and everyone's like, that's stupid. Can't do that. Also, just to let everybody know, I have logged into Pokemon Go for the first time since I've moved to my new house, and there's nothing. There is nothing as far as the eye can see. So I'm gonna have to get some incense going on. I'm too used to living by gym.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like if I move my phone around a little bit, just like go like this, Pokemon.
That's what I was doing, like really subtly, like underneath the camera. I was like, am I gonna get anything? I hatched some eggs, which I guess I have accumulated enough walking for. But other than that, it's a whole bunch of nothing. So got that to look forward to.
I also want to say too, like the name Pokemon Journeys, I understand that, Sun and Moon and X and Y were named after the games, but like, let's be real, those are dumb names for a show. Pokemon Journeys sounds like a show.
I mean, it sounds like, because again, this is a series that they're really trying to kind of break the mold with. I mean, the traveling and the history and the canon exploration that this new anime has already done in only 20 episodes or less has been very impressive compared to any of the other shows. I mean, Sun and Moon got close to it, but it was still very insular in its exploration of Pokemon lore. This one has done a better job of that so far, and is much more promising. And also, for a long time, Pokemon was having some really hard rating issues in Japan because it's on cable then, and it was in this once primetime spot forever, and then it got moved, and that was because it wasn't bringing in enough ratings even as a kids show or a kids anime, which is like the top demographic of TV in Japan. So I feel like this is also a very calculated move on the Pokemon company's part to rebrand the show as something that's not tangentially, not that they really have ever been, but that they're not like, oh, this is just a complete anime remake of the game. It's like, no, it's related to that lore and season. It's just a different take on it. So I appreciate that.
And also, I mean, I wonder how much of it is also, fans have been bitching about aspects to the anime that this show has gone out of its way to correct. I mean, first we had like, oh, Ash has never shown like, any sort of like character growth over the last like 20 years, and lo and behold, now Ash is acting like a seasoned Pokemon trainer. Which we would get, but now it's just like, and then it's like, why does Ash always have to start over whenever he goes to a new region? And now Ash is like, oh, I caught a Dragonite. Oh, here's my Gengar. Like, oh, I have multiple legendary Pokemon at my disposal. Like, watch me now. And now it's, I feel like they are actively not course correcting, but really addressing some like the longtime issues fans of the series have had. Which has made this a more wholesome experience. And also, I feel like, this is the first time, based on the stuff that happened on the last episode, that like Ash might actually have like a traveling companion that's a true rival, instead of like someone that like Ash actively might eventually dislike. Instead of like, we're friends first and rivals second. Oh, we're rivals for one battle. Like, no, I feel like Go is going to be somebody that Ash is going to have to like take down.
Yeah, I feel like that you're totally correct with that, Hopper. They're definitely addressing some of those issues. The one thing I just have to say, and I know there's going to be some listeners who are diehards and who are just going to hate me for this, but it's like, I'm so tired of people bringing back up Greninja in the discussion of the Pokemon anime. Look, I love Greninja. He was a great Pokemon. They had that bond together. They literally like mind melded like Vulcan style at some point. Like, I understand like the desire to have him back. But the reasons for why Greninja has left Ash, like there's so many people who say, well, there's no way he can come back. He can come back. I have very little doubt that he will at least be mentioned at some point or revisited at some point. But like, I do not expect him, nor do I want him to rejoin Ash's party for this. I want this to be a separate experience. The holding on to and the almost like treasured nature of some Pokemon like Lycanroc or any of these Pokemon that Ash has had who he's bonded. I mean, Charizard, obviously, we joke about Charizard all the time. That's just a thing that has frustrated me recently within the fandom, because I love these Pokemon too. I have such a connection with them, but also like I want to give other Pokemon the chance. So far, a lot of those Pokemon in this new series have been Generation 1, except for like the Galar Pokemon we've seen occasionally.
Okay, but what if Butterfree shows up?
No, I don't want that.
That Butterfree's dead.
No, okay. If Butterfree shows up, I'm saying bye-bye, Butterfree.
What? You would say bye-bye to Butterfree if Butterfree showed up?
Butterfree's been outclassed by every Pokemon.
It's not even that he's been outclassed. Like, I would love an episode where, like, we see, like, a flock of Butterfree and we meet Butterfree's descendants and their kids and they have a whole nice little thing and Team Rocket shows up. But, like, I don't ultimately want Butterfree to rejoin, like, Ash's party. I definitely don't mind that kind of instance of like reconnecting with lost Pokemon or Pokemon who you've parted with. And I think even the latest episode of Pokemon sets that up nicely, given what Go did with Raboot. But
I hate Go, just for the record.
Like, what a surprise.
Go has made my Leon list.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we should discuss this because I just dropped that all ominously. So in this latest episode, like right before like it goes on a definite hiatus, basically like Go and Raboot are not vibing with one another. Raboot is like way too sullen and emo and independent for Go to handle. And like, to be fair, Go doesn't really have friends. Like, that's kind of the whole point of Go, is like he's so socially inept. Like, he doesn't have many friends. He doesn't know how to deal with them. Ash is like one of his first like genuine kind of give and take relationship friends. And he just can't deal with Raboot, so he does what he always does, and he's just like deuces. So he abandons Raboot at their like last location, and he like comes up to Ash and Pikachu on the train to their next destination, and everyone's like, where's your Pokemon? And Go's just like, oh, NBD, I left it behind, he's gone. And Ash is like, did you even say goodbye? And Go's like, don't really think I did. So Yeah, it was a very uncomfortable situation. Ash, for once, was like visibly like, what are you doing? Like,
well, especially because Ash has a habit of picking up Pokemon from the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like,
Ash should have run
he should have just gone back and got it.
Gotten reboot. And just been like, oh yeah, sorry, my Pokemon now. Enjoy like the 50 Pokemon that you've caught and have like never talked about ever again.
He has like all these Pokemon, like 20,000 Weedle and like others like Pokemon. He's never used them. He would bring them, like if Go tried to use this Pokemon in battle, they would not listen to him because one, he is not trained enough to know how to use them. Like, I understand the point that they're trying to make is like, this is like a boy who doesn't know like how to function in a Pokemon world, and he has an idealized version of Pokemon that you just catch them and collect them, and you don't have to like invest time or relationships into them. And that Ash is supposed to be that foil who teaches him that. But like the way Go is acting in this episode, like I don't have the grudge Hopper does against Leon, but like I definitely am starting to have that grudge against Go.
Like, listen, right now, my ideal ending for Go is that Ash gets Lucario, and then Ash Mega Evolves Lucario. So Lucario's got like the metal, like the brass knuckles, which are actually like metal spikes, like, on his fists. And then Lucario punches Go with that. And then they leave him in a location just lying there with a hole in his stomach walks away.
My God,
clearly this has to resolve with Ash yelling at Go and being like, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes to save Raboot, who is hiding under a leaf in the rain.
I mean, like I said.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like Raboot's pretty cool with Go abandoning him at this point. Like, he might not outwardly show that. He'll be kind of like blasé about it.
They'll both be really sad about it, and then they'll both come back together, and it'll all be happy.
Or Ash will remember this and then just like nuke Go from orbit with a Dragonite.
I don't know. It's interesting. Go has been just, as much as we're like hating on him, he has been a refreshing character in the sense that like
he's a totally different character.
He's been completely unlike any character. I have never I have never really felt uncomfortable or hated one of Ash's companions. Like, I might have thought they were annoying, or I might have thought they were like, not fit to be a trainer, or they were super stereotypical. Go has definitely come out of those stereotypes, which is good. It's made me feel like a new emotion while watching Pokemon, which is great, and I welcome it. I just,
if you've never felt seething rage before, I don't understand.
Well,
not really. I mean,
I have felt angry before. Don't worry about that. Just saying, towards the Pokemon anime, I don't think I have ever felt such like WTF anger before.
The closest I think I've ever felt this way to one of Ash's companions was probably Iris, who just as a very annoying character, in general. Like, because she was like Ash, you're so immature, when she's the actual child. So that was like frustrating. I mean, I don't like Black and White in general. I think it's probably the worst of the Pokemon series by far, and that's not like a controversial opinion.
No,
like it's universally reviled.
Facts.
And while I love this new anime series, I feel like they're going out of their way to give us this is the start of a villain story with Go, which I appreciate. Like, I'm all about that. Like, let's give us a bad guy for Ash to beat, and let it be one of his so-called former friends, because Go is selfish. Go is not good, and Go is like the antithesis of Ash. So
yeah, I mean, I know we're saying that, but it will not happen.
Oh no,
Go is 900% running on that redeem arc, a la My Hero Academia. Like, there's no question about it. But I appreciate right now the nuance in it, different than what we've gotten before. So, not gonna hate on it. I'm curious to hear his English voice.
Yeah.
Because right now I expect it sounding something like I don't even know. Just like the worst kind of voice. A voice that you would like want to punch in the face if it like materialized in front of you.
Gary Oak from the original anime style voice, where it's like kind of whiny, you know. Yeah, that's how I kind of picture it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I don't know. Go definitely needs to get like kicked in the crotch.
Okay.
Well, that's a bit excessive, I will say.
That's pretty
That's
accurate.
a little bit excessive.
Well, when we get back, it's 2 weeks in a row that you've mentioned kicking someone in the crotch twice. When we get back, we are going to talk about Twilight Wings episode 4, the latest in this fun little kind of spin-off anime series. And boy, do we got some opinions about this one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, it's Twilight Wings episode 4.
This anime just keeps getting better in quality and in terms of like story. Sure. Like this one, we get to. I mean, we've discussed this in a past episode. This is the mini series that's actually kind of like set in the Sword and Shield world. It's following all the characters that we've known and met in the anime. I mean, in the game. This specific anime episode follows Nessa, who is the queen of all.
Who we've seen in a bunch of episodes now losing.
So poor Nessa's
in that one match.
Yeah, Nessa's had some issues in the anime at least, but obviously in the game she is Queen Nessa. So this kind of follows her as we follow her through her training journey, talking with her friends, kind of coming to terms with her losses and trying to get stronger. She does not fight a Machoke or a Machamp like other gym trainers have done.
Yeah, because she's healthy. She finds a healthy outlet to her issues.
Yeah, Nessa instead, she it's such a beautiful. I just obviously I'm the water type fan here. Like if it's a water type Pokemon, it's gonna be me. So like I have a particular love and identification with Nessa. And this was just such a gorgeous episode. Again, the music and the animation of like the water and the waves. I mean, that was half of like me watching it, just being impressed. But then, of course, Chairman Rose pops up, and Hopper has a lot of feelings about this.
Well, he's a sexual harasser. He is a sexual harasser.
It's definitely problematic. But
yeah,
I mean, it goes to just show. For a while, you weren't like, especially what was it, the second episode where he goes to see the sick kid? Was that the first?
That was
the first episode.
The first episode, he goes see a sick kid, and and a lot of us were like, well, at some point, there like the other shoe is going to have to drop, right? Like where we start to see that this guy is actually a terrible human being or whatever.
Oh, we got it in spades here.
And sure enough, here it is.
I mean, I'm quite surprised where so to provide some context about what Rose does here. So after Nessa loses to Milo, which let's get it out of the way. I mean, it's partially her fault that she lost. She brought a Dreadnought, which has a double weakness to grass types, against a grass type trainer. She wasn't going to win that battle no matter what. Nope. So like afterwards, like Rose approaches her in like the waiting room / like locker room area, which creepy. And then it was like, oh, Nessa, I noticed that you've been doing modeling. You're going to have to choose one or the other eventually, as if to imply that she is somehow inferior because she is pursuing multiple career paths at once. And it's like really gross and it's really creepy, and it really resonated with me on like a personal level because I'm someone who has also been told that about my multiple career paths. And it's like, oh, well, you're holding yourself back. It's like, no, screw you. And also it's like sexual harassment. He's implying that she is never going to like reach the top because she has, a career that is based off her looks. And that is like offensive. It is wrong. It is creepy. It is everything we want out of a Pokemon villain. And I can't wait for this guy to go to prison.
No, absolutely.
He does. He goes to prison. That's like in canon. He gets arrested. He is currently serving like hard time for his ridiculous energy scheme.
Wow, okay.
I mean, but like, and like Nessa immediately like doesn't call him out immediately, but like the very next scene is her like saying like, what a creep this guy is. You know, how dare he, you know, try to make me choose between my two passions. Because, you know, if you are not a person who is like single-mindedly devoted to one thing, and like if you are trying to like, you know, juggle responsibilities and trying to have it all, you have heard this story. Whether you are, you know, trying to be a working mother, whether you are trying to balance a career that pays the bills with a career that makes you happy, whether or not, like, you know, you're doing something like acting or the arts or any sort of like, you know, career path, which is like non-traditional 9-to-5 office work, you know, you have heard these words come out of one of your superiors or some like family member or somebody at this point. And it, you know, having heard this, like personally, it just drives me nuts. It pisses me off so much to like, you know, hear that. And so I feel like, you know, I empathize with Nessa because I've been Nessa, only not nearly as good looking, nor do I have a modeling career. But other than those things, basically the same conversation I've had the same conversation with my superiors before. And like every time, like, you know, I have basically the same reaction as Nessa, where just like I just go like I bitch about it to my friends. It's like, this is the most relatable Pokemon character that I've ever like met in any of the anime series. Like it's like, oh my god, this is literally me.
But that's one of the things I love best about this series as a whole.
Yeah.
Like this series has truly, like, I mean, because these episodes are not long. They are 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
And in the 6 minutes over 4 episodes, you know, in the 24 minutes, we have gotten more characterization for, you know, some of the characters in the world of Galar than we have in full seasons of the traditional anime.
Oh yeah.
And it's just fascinating. Like I would love, I know that they do a bunch of these kind of like mini series from here and there, but like I want this team, whatever team is working on this series, to be putting out stuff left and right, like for till the end of time. Because
I do wish that we get, you know, because it seems like every few years we get something like this. Like we had Pokemon Generations back in 2016. Now we have this. And I just really wish that we had more spin-off series that come out at a clip of more than once every 4 years.
Yeah. I feel like hopefully, I mean, like we just discussed earlier in the episode with the changes that the actual anime has made, that they're heading towards that nuance in the actual season. I know we're not going to get Ash suddenly turning into Nessa, because he is one of those people with a single track mind of, I'm going to be Pokemon Master, I'm going to do this, and that's that into the conversation. But I feel like somebody like Go or even Koharu in the anime series could become something of this nuance. But again, like I have to echo, like it's so impressive. I mean, beyond the visuals, which are leagues and miles above what the current season does. The animation, I mean, that was the same thing that happened with Pokemon Generations. It was fabulous to watch. Just the lighting of how they did the anime was amazing. Like
that's why we only get them in 6-minute chunks.
Yeah. And I know from a revenue standpoint it wouldn't make sense to do this, but as a fan, as a consumer, I would be way more invested in the Pokemon Company doing like a movie once every other year, and in between that having like one of these series come out more regularly. I know it's not going to happen because they ain't making the same money off of this as they are the movies, but I'm hoping that maybe with the dual release, you know, on YouTube, maybe with advertisements, they're going to get something out of it. I just really wish there was a way that, you know, the Pokemon Company could get more revenue to make this cost effective, because I know at the end of the day that's what they are worried about. But damn, if this is not one of the more gorgeous things the Pokemon anime has ever put out.
I'm surprised it didn't come out that like Nessa only makes like 78 cents to the dollar that like Milo makes. Like, you know, like I'm honestly surprised that they just didn't,
like it's implied. That's why she has to have a second hustle.
Yeah, exactly. That's why she's got to be a model, is to, you know,
Milo
supplement
just
that
farms.
income.
He just lives his best life herding woo.
Although, which
isn't even a grass type Pokemon, damn it.
So the episode ends though. So like the interesting thing about these is, you know, they usually in one form or fashion, the end ties into the next episode of some sort. And this one ends, you know, with Oleana, who, you know, is another character who
also
is
evil.
but a bit like evil, but fascinating in a way where it's just like clearly she's got a story, and I feel like hopefully I feel like we may be getting that coming up next, which will be really interesting because she's always someone who's just like, even in the game, like I was just like there is something wrong with this lady, but like not necessarily nefarious. I mean, obviously when she was working for Rose and, you know, she looked up to him and whatever, and you know, she's just as culpable for his stuff as he is. But, you know, you wonder how some people get to that point. And so maybe we'll find out.
The thing I'm most excited about, sorry, I just want to say this. I was going to say the thing I'm most excited about is when we get to the final episode, and it's going to be Leon's episode, which we all know on this podcast that Hopper hates. But whatever happens in that episode is going to turn Hopper inside out, upside down, and all around. I mean, because
if there is one episode of this podcast you don't want to miss, it's that one.
I mean, whatever happens,
you're gonna feel so bad for him.
No, I'm not.
Okay, what if it comes out that he has like horrific self-confidence and he calls himself the champion because like...
Listen, we all have horrific self-confidence issues, and we don't go and, you know, act as a passive participant in a nearly world-ending scheme.
As somebody who...
You know like, Megan, like, you know, like I said, I have self-confidence issues. I've never participated in a plot to try to destroy the Galar region, you know, on some like Lex Luthor style, like energy scheme. Like, you know, like the worst that Jim's ever done with all of his self-confidence issues is scam some grandmas. Like, you know, he's never gone to like, you know, like super villain felony level. And look at him. Look at Jim.
I gotta admit, feel like you're misreading the Leon situation for drama. I appreciate because our readers are eating it up. Or not readers, listeners. If you're reading this podcast, I'm impressed. But I will just say I'm excited for that Leon episode because Hopper and I will probably blow a gasket fighting at one another. So
it's gonna be really interesting to see, just given what this show does and how it, you know, I mean, it is a very if you have feelings, you will feel them during these.
So let's
I mean, who doesn't know? Maybe Chairman Rose threatened Go, and Leon's like passively trying to like work his way through it.
You mean Hop?
I mean, yeah, Hop.
Yeah, I was about to say
Hop and Go are so similar to me because they just like the same character. They are essentially the same character.
But, you know, like if that would have been the case, one, that would have done wonders of explaining what the hell, you know, what exactly Leon was thinking.
Right.
Because, you know, in the games, it's just like, you know, Leon's like, yeah, we will go and upturn Galar society. But I really want to have this battle first. I mean, that's basically how it comes off.
I'm sure Leon was hoping that Hop was gonna win, and that's like why Leon wouldn't let Hop or your avatar, your gamer, you know, near the situation, because if Hop and Chairman Rose came in the same situation, Leon was trying to protect his brother. Hopper just setting this up, setting it up.
Let's be real. If like Hop were presented with this issue, it's like, listen, Hop, we need to have a talk. You're now champion of the Galar region, so we have to let you in on the dirtiest secret that the Galar region has. We're going to run out of energy in 1,000 years. And Hop's going to be like, well, what can we do? He's like, well, I have this scheme. We're going to harness this legendary Pokemon for energy. And Hop's like, oh, brilliant. I'm totally in. Like, I'm totally in. Like, let's face it, Hop would be an active participant.
No, but it would be more like, but I still get to be champion, right?
Yeah, he's like, well, I have to go and beat my rival because it just seems like he keeps getting better. So yes, let's go through with this energy scheme. Can you somehow hook me up to this so I can be Dynamax? And like Leon's like, they'll probably kill you. Like, I don't care. I just need to get more stronger. It's like, oh God, like what have we done? Like, but what my big question is, so the anime, the Twilight Wings episode ends with Oleana looking at that drawing of Charizard and Leon that the sick kid did in the first episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like I'm wondering like what connection that's all going to be, because we've already firmly established that this kid's probably going to die. And we kind of just presumed that, like, you know, he was just going to get sick.
We assumed it would happen off screen, but
yeah, but like now I'm wondering if Oleana is like worried, like, oh well, Nessa just can't, you know, reach her full potential because she's modeling. Chairman Rose has a picture of a kid that a kid drew of him, or of Leon. You know, he's got, you know, like also has emotional ties holding him down. I must get rid of them. I wonder if she's going to kill this kid.
You are just like Dark Souling the Pokemon series right now. You are just
I'm just saying. I mean, think about it.
But here's the thing. Here's what I would say. I wouldn't put it past Oleana to use this as emotional blackmail.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily off the chart.
I agree.
Please, Christian.
Oh, for sure.
Emotional blackmail, totally.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know. I've just been reading some really dark comics lately, so maybe that's what's going on. Is like I see like innocence, and then like, oh, these people are going to die.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Oleana is going to have something in regards. I feel like either it's going to be the emotional blackmail kind of situation, or, you know, in order to distance Chairman Rose from this kid, she'll you know, be beneficial, move him to a different hopper, yes. You know, move him to like a better hospital with better equipment, or she'll just straight up like divert funds to like get this kid better, or like on a track or a treatment track that gives him a better prognosis. Or she's going to say something like, if we have more energy, we'll be able to get Eternus to save him. Like, it's going to be something like that. For sure.
That's like, it's
I
like,
don't think she's going to take the kid out back. That's awful.
If there were one character in the Pokemon franchise that you would fully expect would be willing and able to murder a child, Oleana's got to be on the top of that list.
No, that's Giovanni.
I mean, Giovanni's also right up there. But Oleana's got to be like in the top 3 on that list. Like there's Geddes from Black and White, who is just like straight up also evil. Like, you know, like no problem, like just killing anything that gets in his way. Giovanni, obviously, because he's a mob boss. You know that like at the bottom of, you know, like the oceans that surround Kanto, like in the bottom of Vermilion Bay, there are probably like 50 people with cement shoes on, like, you know, that he's like personally watched. And
that's,
you know,
horrifying.
I mean, it's the truth.
Just imagine, I just have this scene in my head of like skeletons and cement shoes and like Magikarp swimming in between the ribs or something.
Eating on, like, you know, like nibbling on their like decomposing flesh. And then there's Oleana. Like Oleana is definitely a cleaner. Like, oh, like Chairman Rose, like, you know, like has something problematic goes on, and she just like goes out, and like, you know, suddenly the next day, like the person like fell off a train track, you know, with ropes tied to her, you know, like, and like, you know, that's just what happens. Like, oh man, it's like, it's so sad that this person just stumbled in front of us like a bus.
All I can say is I'm glad that Hoffer's not the person in charge of the story progression of Pokemon.
I mean, if I were in charge of the Pokemon franchise story progression, it would definitely be a lot more dramatic than what we got now. That's all I'll say.
There's no transition out of that. Christian, why don't you give us the Pokemon fact of the week?
Okay, it's another 2-parter, mainly because I don't remember if we've done the first part of this before. So, you know, obviously there are lots of Pokemon that are based off real life plants and animals. Victory Bell is one of those. Victory Bell is literally a pitcher plant, which is a carnivorous plant which gathers up water in its pitcher, which is basically like a bell shape. It's Victory Bell's body. Mm-hmm. And it kind of like bugs enter that, trying to get the water, which is like sometimes mixed with a nectar of sorts. And then the pitcher plant eats it. I mean, it's literally, if you take a look at a pitcher plant, it's literally Victory Bell without the eyes.
Yep.
I mean, it's just straight up, it's a pitcher plant. What's a little bit lesser known, because I I have a funny feeling that we've talked about that one before. What's lesser known is that Bellsprout, you think like Bellsprout, pretty puny Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
It produces acid that can melt steel.
Wow.
Rip.
Yeah.
Steelix's worst nightmare.
R.I.P. Steelix.
Like, just like a corrosive acid that, can apparently like destroy some of the strongest building materials known to man. Yeah. You'll never look at Bellsprout the same.
The forest and jungle of the Pokemon universe are just truly Eldritchian horror stories.
I don't want to. I'm going to, but I am now. I want to see the fan art of Victory Bell just like feasting on Caterpies and Weedle.
Well, it does. I mean, that's the thing we talk about. It straight up eats bug Pokemon. Like, it talks about like it eats bugs, but we've now established that there are no just like common bugs to eat. It literally has to kill other Pokemon in order to survive. We don't talk about this. It's the only reason why at least Victory Bell like looks like a carnivorous plant. Like, yeah, like we saw it like try to eat James like 1,000 times. Like, of course it would eat Pokemon given the chance.
Yeah, but that explains why that happened.
Like what we don't think of is like, Vileplume, which we've discussed about, also a carnivorous Pokemon. Gentle, smiley Vileplume eats other Pokemon. And like both of them, they probably get into like these like fierce competitions where they both like try to engorge themselves on as many like Weedle and like Caterpie as they can find.
Well, that's horrifying.
Yep.
Well, I mean, but anyone who's played the games knows that there are plenty of Caterpie and Weedle to go around.
Oh, so many. So. That's why there's so many.
Well, there we go. There's another Pokemon fact of the week to make you a better, smarter Pokemon fan. If you like this show, let us know. I mean, we love hearing from you guys, and there's multiple ways to give us feedback, even if it's the constructive kind. The best way, because I say it's the best because you get something out of this. You leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and we read it on the air. You get a free Comicbook.com t-shirt mailed out to you just for saying nice things. The other way you can is obviously, by telling your friends about the show. The more people who we have, sort of come to the show, the better off, we'll all be. We want to grow this community of listeners for this show. There's a lot of Pokemon podcasts out there, and we truly appreciate the fact that you spend an hour with us each week to listen to us ramble. For sure. The other way you can as well is you can get in touch with us on Twitter. You can find me at Jim Viscardi.
You can find me on Twitter at Megan Peters TV. Let me know what you want us to do for our special year anniversary episode, because that's got to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And you can find me at Seehofer Seabus.
Thank you all for spending some time with us this week. We will catch you next week on the eve of our year anniversary. We'll catch you then.